It's Fernando Ruiz Art.
Hi everybody. Now today our Fleisher Brothers Superman sketch card gets his colors. So if you've been keeping up with the channel, you know that very recently I had my 800 subscriber giveaway. And now we are quickly speeding towards our 900. So I'm going to be announcing that very soon. So stay tuned. And one of the winners of our big 800 giveaway, 800 subscriber giveaway, was one of my students at the Kubert School, James Ferguson. And the prize for he won the second place prize, and the second place prize was you got to choose a sketch card featuring a headshot of the character of your choice. It was totally up to you. Whatever character you wanted, I would draw for you. And James, who clearly has excellent taste, he chose the Fleisher Brothers animated version of Superman. This is Superman as he appeared in the 1940 cartoons produced by Fleisher Brothers Studios. Fleisher Brothers, for those who don't know, they also did some very beautiful cartoons featuring Betty Boop, that was them, and also probably the best Popeye cartoons ever were done by the Fleisher Brothers Studio. And they didn't do a whole lot of Superman cartoons. I think there's only, I don't know what the exact number is, but there aren't many. But they're very beautifully done. They're done using rotoscoping, which is a technique that kind of uses animation over live action movements. So you get some very, very natural fluid movements on the part of the character. Now we're adding color to our Man of Steel here. And another trademark of the Fleisher Brothers Superman cartoons are these very saturated, very dramatic colors. And I'm going to be trying to go for that with this guy. I want him to have those very rich, very, very almost thick colors that the cartoon had. And hopefully it's going to be a bit of an experiment, but we're doing this. You'll see it happen if it can happen. So I'm foregoing a little bit of my usual flesh color palette for this. I'm treating Superman as though he's being lit from the from our left, his right. And the reason I'm doing that is because as I look at the Google shots of Superman, he's often lit from that direction. So hopefully I could really recapture some of that Fleischer-ish effect here. And Superman's skin has this kind of very orangey glow in these shots. So I want to really try and keep that as much as possible. If you notice, what I started to do, treating Superman as though he's lit from that side, I really tried to capture the darks on his face. I tried to give him the sort of this backlit look, and hopefully that will come across. Now this is and I'm using Copics. I'm using Copic markers for these, and Copics, as I've said before, they're very easy to blend. And maybe you're seeing this now. They're very easy to blend. And I've often said using Copics is very much like painting, like you're painting with colors. So hopefully this is coming out okay on camera. Now what I want to do is go with this is my E00. I've often talked about this pen. This is this is the lightest of the flesh tones. And I'm going to bring that over here. Incidentally, you can still see the video where I penciled this card, and I believe I inked it in a time-lapse video on the same video. And of course, I'll link to that in the description below, but you can check it out at your leisure. Now I'm going in now with the, this is my pale yellow Y11. Oof, that's a bit of a dirty nib, but let's give it a shot. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. It's not coming off too much. It's not coming off at all, I should say. And the yellow now, the yellow's gonna cook some of Superman here. And I'm gonna actually go into the cape area too, maybe on this side too. And it's gonna cook Superman a little bit, again, to give it that dramatically lit effect. And of course, well, now I want to go, I'm going to switch over to, you know what I'm going to do while we have a little time? I'm going to switch to the background. Normally, I wouldn't do the background just yet, but I do want to show you guys what I have in mind for it, and hopefully it'll come through. So I'm picking out, this is currently my darkest blue, which is B39. And this is, it's a really, really saturated dark blue. So I'm going to do this at the very top. And what I want the blue to do is I want it to get lighter as it comes down. Now, you may want to work on scrap paper or a board where you don't mind if you overshoot the card and get some marker on your surface. I'm just working on my usual drawing table, and as you can see, I've never been shy about markering it up. So I'm going to go over now to my ultramarine blue, and I'm going to come down. The ultramarine blue gets a little lighter, a little bluer. And I want to come down. And what I'm going to do is go back to that yellow, and I'm going to come up from the bottom with the yellow. And I'm going to go in with some of my cobalt blue. And this gets a little lighter too, a little lighter, a little lighter. So I'm almost working in like layers. Now I'm gonna actually switch over to my lightest blue and try to blend some of these together. Yeah, this could use a little bit of a refill, which is why you're hearing some of that squeaking happening. And I'm going to go over to my peacock blue, I think. Just try and smooth some of this blue out. Hopefully I'm getting that nice Fleisher-esque blue sky. And smooth it out, smooth it out. I've always said you can do a whole lot more with these colors, the more colors you have. And you can still do a lot with very few colors. But the more you have, the reality is, the more you're able to do. Now this is my pure yellow Y06. This is sort of like my basic does everything kind of yellow. And this will really, really cook things up. I might actually do a little bit of that into the skin and really heat things up that way, maybe even into the costume a little bit. Got to be careful. You don't, if you see things getting, and you can see the number that really does on the nib. If you see things getting too green, you may want to back off. Where's my B0? I'll go with a little more peacock blue. Smooth things out. Now the interesting thing, I have Superman's hair here, and I have his hair as you know, with some highlights. Typically in comics, traditionally, Superman's highlights have always been colored blue, and I'm going to do that here. Even though in the Fleisher cartoons, he doesn't really have highlights in his hair. Oftentimes, his hair is mostly colored like a dark black, just a flat black. I'm gonna hit it up with some blue, and then maybe some gray. Maybe I'm gonna need a darker gray. Cool gray number 7, and that'll give it kind of that very cool dark look to it. That's good. I'm gonna jump to some dark red, and I want to add this to his cape. Superman's costume in these cartoons is really dark. It's not the usual tone of light blue that we see in the comics. The red is not a bright red that we're used to seeing in the comics either. And I'm going to take a little bit of a liberty with this one, even though you never see this in the Fleisher version. But I'm going to go in with a little bit of dark red, and then bring it up with a little bit of just your cadmium medium red, which is sort of your basic red. I'm going to do that here too. And there as well. And what I may do is get my vermilion, and the vermilion is kind of an orangey red, which will just heat things up nicely. So it's not, this isn't an S that necessarily really pops because of the black and the red on the black, but it's true to the cartoon. Gonna go in and vermilion up his cape there. And now what's left is the blue on his costume. And much like the red on his cape, the blue in the Fleisher Superman's costume is pretty, it's pretty dark. So, and I'm also going to treat this as though he is side lit or backlit as well. I'm going to go in with some of this blue. What I'm using here is my cobalt blue. And I might want this to be a little darker still. I want to get a little darker, so I'm going to go over to my ultramarine, my B29. As I've said before, you're better off knowing the numbers rather than the names, because Copic does change the names around a little bit. I'm going to come around the S How's he looking? And I want to go in maybe with a little, they call this cyanine blue, B16. And this is a lighter blue, obviously. I'm going to go in and carry that, my dark blue, into some lighter areas. And then go in with my B00, my lightest of all blue, to help smooth things out. And I hope this is retaining that nice Fleisher-esque quality that I was going for. This is my B12 Ice Blue, which is a very light blue. Not as light as the B00, of course, but still a very light blue. So if you need to smooth out these colors while still keeping things light, but getting a little more bluey than your basic blue, that's one way to go. Now I'm going to go in with the Prussian blue. That's that dark blue that I used in the background. And I'm going to use this just to push some of that dark a little bit more. Just for a couple of little blue, dark blue accents here and there. And Superman is almost there. Where's my peacock blue? When I'm drawing like regular comic book Superman, peacock blue is the blue that I go with for his costume. But that's a lighter, much lighter blue than what the Fleischers use for their Superman. I want to go back in with the red to touch up some of these little spots. And Superman is just about done. Now I do want to let everything dry and see how things look. See if I do need to. Already I could see the face. I could see, yeah, we should probably push some of this again for a little more contrast. Go in there for that nice dramatic lighting again. Even as I've been working on this, you can see how things have lightened up on the face from when I first put down those initial tones. So, what do you think? Does it look like a Fleischer Superman? I hope my friend James Ferguson will be happy with his Superman. Let me go in and sign Superman here. And if James wants any sort of personalization, he could certainly let me know. And finally, the last thing. Normally, I let the colors breathe a little before I put it in the sleeve, but I want you guys to see the complete package here. I'm going to take the card and just put it in the sleeve. And there we go. There he is. Up, up, and away. So what do you think? Does it work? Did I do good? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you like this, please click like. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Keep checking back. Keep checking the channel. And keep following me on all the social media so you could hear the latest and see the latest stuff that I do. And also go to my website, FernandoRuizEverybody.com. I'm bringing it back to life and posting stuff there a lot. So thanks a lot, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.